it's my pleasure to present the next award to a woman who seems soft-spoken, yet carries an uncontained drive. Maurus is an absolutely tireless activist who I've seen literally go days at a time pushing herself without sleep to inhuman extremes, not only for Occupy Wall Street, but for the most marginalized and oppressed activists and members in the Occupy Wall Street movement. All of this, and I don't think I ever saw her drink a cup of coffee. Her thirst for justice, her curiosity, her love for the people has sent her to serve them across the world, in El Salvador, in Palestine, Gaza, and even places as remote as Queens. There is no question that Megan is a die-hard risk-taker, but brilliant as she is, she's not only landed on her feet, but has always helped the people to get up on theirs. Megan's passion for justice has left few oppressors unscathed. She's worked against state and society as a criminal defender for queer and gender nonconformist rights, immigrant rights, and has the painstaking task of being the criminal court coordinator of the Occupy Wall Street movement, and putting up with all of the attorneys and handling all of this with great amounts of grace. Maurus, thank you so much for all of your work.
And now's a good moment to tell you I was in Queens Criminal Court all day, which went well over schedule, as I should have expected, and I have absolutely no idea what I'm about to say. I think this might be the first time in my life, because I'm actually shy, I have never actually contemplated what I was about to say. And I really wish I had, because the people who spoke before me are incredible people, and Marty, who's going to speak after me, has probably thought out what he's going to say and can definitely wing it if he hasn't. But I think what's important, I actually went around tonight because I had nothing to say and asked for everyone's favorite Occupy story. And I didn't specify funny or sad or whatever, and almost none of them are tellable. But the only one so far is that Sarah Nucky, who's here tonight, did a mic check to say, are we being detained? And apparently police melted away, and that's incredibly awesome. And apparently Hayward, who does bail, told me that the police actually did a mic check once during shift change to figure out who was supposed to be going where. So those are the only two I can really convey. But I think what I do want to say is two things. My presence on this stage tonight, I think, is a testament to a lot of things. My mom, who very rarely is able to come out to New York, is here tonight. It's the first time I've seen her in almost a year. Which is also another reason I probably could have figured out what I was going to say. But I think this year is the 75th anniversary of the National Lawyers Guild. And we're all standing here tonight because for 75 years, people in all the types of law that they do, housing, labor, human rights, international, environmental, everything, have chosen careers that maybe don't get them money, and maybe they never win a thing, but they're going to fight for people. And every single person in this room has that story as well, I feel very comfortable saying. And two small things about that is, I was recently at a party, and I hate to admit it, but it was in Williamsburg. I was in Williamsburg at a party, and someone was talking about having gone to Columbia, and I said, oh, I'm working for the National Lawyers Guild, and he said, oh, National Lawyers Guild, great. they were, like, they all represented us. And he probably never would have been able to place that, but he knew right off the name, and that says something. And 1968 is also the year Legal Observers first started, and they were at the Democratic National Convention in 1968 in Chicago, and they were in NATO protests 2 weeks ago, and they were at Columbia in 1968, and they were on Occupy Wall Street almost every day today. But I was prepping a trial a couple weeks ago, which got dismissed because cop watch video, or it's not cop watch video, but we need to expand that whole concept of videoing things. But I called LOs, and it was my first experience calling LOs, and it was incredible in the sense that everyone was professional, remembered what they remembered, had notes, were willing to come to court. And somebody somewhere did the same thing that Christina and Vina and Marty and all of us got together and did, which was create a manual and create a system and create green hats. And that's existed since 1968. I can't do math. I became a lawyer. But 12 years. 12 years, says Gideon, who also became a lawyer.